There's delineating and there's gatekeeping. And then there's this. This comment here was left under one of my YouTube videos. It was left under the YouTube video of my response to this white man asking, what do black Americans see? This is an increasing sentiment I've been running into lately. Ever since this whole diasporic wars flare up has become a thing. It's frankly extremely irritating, and I think it's just off and wrong. The sentiment I'm getting from this is that since you're not Black American or FBA or whatever, you don't get to speak on what the Black community feels about anything. That is the sentiment I'm getting. Now, I've long documented the fact that Caribbean folks especially have been living alongside African Americans for many generations here in this country, even before the Civil Rights Act. And we've been fighting alongside and with African Americans in this country for civil rights in this place. Right? I don't need to keep naming the Caribbean luminaries who are, down for the cause. We have streets named after Marcus Garvey. We know about Stokely Carmichael. We know about Hazel Scott. You know what I'm saying? We know about Malcolm X's mother, among many others. The thing I have a problem with, it's like this person says that I'm not part of the Black community. I reject that out of hand on the strength of the civil rights tradition of Caribbean people in this country. And I reject that out of hand as someone who has been living here for decades, and my racial experience, my racial reality has been identical to that of African Americans alive today. Yes, I may not have been born here, but I get treated the exact same way. And unlike the very loud, vociferous, idiotic immigrants that talk shit, I know what time it is. I've studied up, I've learned, I've listened, and I defer. But one thing I'm not going to ever defer is the fact that I'm not part of the Black community. I'm not deferring to that fucking opinion. I'm part of the Black community up here. I've lived as a Black man in America for decades. I'm not going to let you tell me that I don't have the right to speak on my life experience here. I'm not going to let you tell me that I don't have the right to chime in and say something and basically co-sign when African Americans talk about the shit they go through here. And I'm not going to have you tell me that I don't get to say anything and co-sign about it because I am not African American when my experience is identical. I have lived most of my life here in the United States. And my sense of self as a Black man has been greatly forged in the United States. My take on Blackness as a black man in the United States is legitimate as fuck as a member of the black community. I am not an African American by birth, but my take on blackness, my sentiments on blackness, and my membership within the black community is bona fide and legitimate as fuck as part of the contribution to the story of blackness in the United States, coming from the black community. I am a bona fide contributor to the story of blackness coming from the black community in the United States. And no one is going to tell me that I don't get to speak on that. There's delineation, and there's gatekeeping, and then there's this. Nope. So all you folks out there who consider yourself let me be precise. The faction of you folks out there that consider yourself FBA, that are on this xenophobic, frankly suicidal bent, right? You can keep scrolling or block me, but I'm not gonna ever shut up about what the fuck I experience, about what my kids who are born here experience. I'm not gonna shut up about what my American citizen, born citizen wife experiences. I'm not gonna shut up about it. The fact that I'm not born here does not delegitimize my opinions and my sentiments and my feelings on being black in this country. Because you're on with this anti-black immigrant stuff right now, and I understand that it is an old fissure, because I did some research on it, and I may do a longer, more informative video about it sometime later. I understand it's an old fissure, but the kind of sentiment you're dealing with now, especially in light of what's happening to this country right now, I reject that out of hand. And frankly, let me just say this, let me just say it. We need each other. We need more numbers to fight this. This group siloing themselves off, and this group siloing themselves off when they're experiencing the exact same sort of pogroms, the exact same sort of pressure to try and annihilate and crush them, when they are treated the exact same way, when the oppressor doesn't choose to distinguish. Separating yourself and not aligning yourself with people who have just as much skin in the game. As I told that person in a comment I made under the thing, you're suicidal. As the little autistic kid said in the Jurassic World, when they were fighting the Indominus Rex, we need more teeth. And the woman went and got the T-Rex out of captivity, and, you know, the battle turned. We need more teeth. African Americans have been fighting the good fight, and they are the progenitor of this fight. African Americans have been globally influential in this fight against white supremacy. I'm not going to take that away from you. But I'm also not going to diminish my ethnicity's contribution to that fight. I'm not going to diminish my ethnicities as a Caribbean, as a black Caribbean person in living in America, contribution towards that fight. Now, let me do a little interjection here. You notice just before I talked about ethnicities, right? Let me explain to you guys that I understand exactly what the delineation is about. Because of what was done to the Africans that were snatched from Africa centuries ago, brought through the hell of the Middle Passage, and brought to the West, some of us Africans were sent to the United States, some of us were sent to the Caribbean, some of us are sent to Central and South America. Each one of those groups of Africans, or people of African descent, became their own bona fide African-derived ethnicities. They have their own cultural traditions, ways of speaking, language, art, music, dance, traditions, and whatnot, each forged in the cubicle of their unique geographic and domestic situations. Black Caribbean folks are separate ethnicity to African Americans. African Americans, FBA, are separate ethnicity to Caribbean folks. And Caribbean folks, right, Caribbean black folks, are separate ethnicity to Afro-Latino folks, like black Brazilians and black Colombians and whatnot down in South America. And they're separate ethnicity to those black folks, black populations, much smaller populations that reside in Belize and in Central America. So I understand the delineation, because there's a tendency in America especially due to the white man, to fuse us all into one. So I acknowledge that I am a different ethnicity to African Americans. But when you talk about the black community has long been made up of black people of African of black people of different African-derived ethnicities. And because of white supremacy in this country, all black Africoid ethnicities that exist and persist in these United States have had almost identical experiences. And this is why I resent the fuck out of that person that made the comment earlier up in the video. All right? I just think I need to explain the fact that I understand, and respect the need to delineate. I'm not going to erase that proud, righteous history because there's a online, loud, nascent, driven, diasporic flare-up right now. So no, whether you like it or not, I'm going to keep speaking on these issues. You xenophobic FBAs, whether you like it or not, I'm going to keep speaking on these issues as a member of the black community, because I am a member of the black community here. Okay, so tell me again, you folks. Tell me again that these folks I'm showing you here, they quote unquote are not allowed to speak for the black community. Tell me they're not allowed to speak for the black community. Tell me again. Tell me again. Oh, wait, they're just tethers, right? Oh, this guy's a tether, right? He's not allowed to speak for the black community. He's a tether, right? So is he? No, not a. Oh, her too. She's just a tether, right? Not allowed to speak, huh? Wait. He's not allowed to speak? This guy? Because that is what is needed for all of us. to come out healthy on the other side of this. I'm not doing it just for my community. It's for all of us, all black people, whether you be African American or black immigrant, all black people that live here need people speaking out against this. I'm not gonna stop because y'all are misguided on some xenophobic shit nascently. Some virality shit. Get with the program, man. Get real.